Okay, guys, welcome to a WrestleSlam special in association with SportsMatters TV. And listen, guys, you don't get bigger than this man right here. He's been a guest with us a number of times over the years. Rich, how's things, my man? How are you keeping?
Things are awesome. What I'm saying? Things are going great. I'm out here in sunny Florida, and we chilling. I'm ready to spill the beans on whatever you got to ask, Daddy.
Ah, my man, I've got a lot to ask. It's been a busy start to the year, Rich. 2024 started off well. TNA, it's trending every single week. As you know, we love to see it. But listen, you've been a busy man. Crushing heads, doing your thing. How would you rate your 2024 so far?
In the very beginning, it was very slow. It was very, how could I say, I'd been on that losing streak. I've been
Mm.
getting my butt whooped every single night. I wasn't on the main shows. I wasn't on Impact Television. I was on BTI. And when they switched to TNA, I wasn't on TNA Impact. I was on Explosion and just loss after loss after loss after loss after loss. And, my man AJ Francis, he talked to me. He brought me from the bottom to the top.
Mm.
He lifted up my spirits. He said, Rich, don't look at these losses. Don't look at these people as yourself as a failure. Think about how you were a former cruiserweight champion, a former exhibition champion, a former world champion, a former TNA world champion. And that's why I aligned myself with AJ Francis, because we're going to get that money and we're going to get the championships and we're going to take over TNA. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my spirit. I've been in this industry for 17 plus years. And when you get those feelings and when you know when the iron is hot, it is time to strike. And with AJ, that iron is red hot.
It is. And yet again, Rich, when we spoke last, you were the world champion. A lot's happened to our surprise. We never expected to, I suppose, see, a small decline because you're so good. But listen, we know how good you were. We know what's ahead. We know Rich Swann doesn't mess about. We know he's, one of the best in the world. We look at the champions right now, Rich. These guys should be nothing to you. These are guys that you can beat easily. I think there's a lot of good turns incoming for you.
You know, I sit back and I think about the champions. Mustafa Ali, somebody that I just was fortunate enough to get into the ring with.
Mm.
Um, you know, he got me on a cheap roll up. He didn't beat me definitively, but you know, you look at guys like Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, who are the tag champions right now, and Mustafa Ali, he's the exhibition champion. But you look at Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, who are the tag team champions right now, and you know, Brian Myers is somebody who's been wrestling at a high level ever since the age of 18. Eddie Edwards has been somebody that has traveled from like all over the globe. You know what I'm saying? Won championships at many major companies, especially TNA. And then you sit back, you look at Crazy Steve. I don't want no part of that. But if I could sneak my way in and get that digital media championship for myself or AJ, we're gonna do it. And then you look at the world champion in Moose. That's somebody that I've pinned 3 times already. Um, and the main goal in TNA right now, you bring up all the champions who, you know, you said that, I could really discard them very easily, which, with my mind, I know that I can get them off their game. And then with AJ Francis by my side together, it don't matter if it's the digital media championship. It doesn't matter if it's the X Division title. It doesn't matter if it's the tag team championships. It doesn't matter if it's the world championships. We're coming for all of them. Because when I mean we're gonna take over TNA and make TNA J Francis flying high with Rich Homie Swann, I mean it.
And we believe it. You speak highly of AJ. Look, we all love him. Obviously, look, he's an awesome person. But listen, obviously, there's a good connection there, Rich. There's a good connection.
Awesome. Yes, indeed. I do speak highly of him because, especially when you see greatness and you recognize greatness, and like I said, I've been in this business for 17 years, you know it like that. When I first met AJ Francis, we were in the back of a plane, you know what I'm saying? And I was on my way back home here to Florida from a show in Baltimore, Maryland, and he was on his way to a tryout for professional wrestling. And when I looked at him, I said, God dang, man, you could be a wrestler. He said, well, that's funny, man. I'm actually going down for a tryout. Had no clue about his football experience or anything like that. And I'm like, damn, man. 6 months to a year later, I turn on the TV. There he is, being the superstar that he is, being the beast that he is, being the big bear that he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, just tearing people up, tearing people down, while showing that money, you know? So,
Nice,
and
man.
like that energy that we got, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be hard for people to hate us because they're going to be living and wanting to live just like us.
I agree.
You know?
Domination is truly on the way, my man. I'm glad you mentioned the whole, AJ thing and the way he kind of, he wanted to wrestle and take it up. And he took it to like a duck takes the water. But could you ever see TNA perhaps in months, years to come? Obviously, NXT have a performance center. Maybe TNA could do something along the lines of that where they could have something like that, and we could see so much talent come through because TNA does give wrestlers the chance. You know what I mean? I seen an interview there recently with Becky Lynch, and she said she wanted to go to TNA because of the chances they give. You know what I mean? The wrestlers. So that's something that could happen, Rich. And you've been there a long time. You know the way that locker is. It's definitely something that has potential.
Man, that would be something that would be amazing if there were resources and there was a way to build a certain type of performance center, if you will, or classic center, wrestling center, school, whatnot. That'd be awesome. And with the program that they have over there, WWE, the NIL, and the way that they go out and meticulously search for, the next star is second to none. But just being a part of that model, I feel like there's a certain way I feel like TNA could totally do that, especially to where, like, as I've said before, they've always been the ones to create stars. If you look at AJ Styles, the Alex Shelley's, the Chris Sabins, the Christopher Daniels, the Frankie Kazarians, Eric Young, ODBs, Gail Kim, Awesome Kong. Like the list goes on and on and on and on and on. If there was a school to where people who were possibly ultimately unknown, exactly like how they do over in the other company, whether it be if they come from football or soccer, football over there,
Yeah.
or American football or baseball or whatever. It doesn't matter what your background is, or mixed martial arts, to come through a TNA facility, get the right training, get the right, what I'm saying, reps in, and, possibly get back to creating our own stars like how we did back in the day. That would definitely be something that I would love to look into and try to express that, that'd be something that would definitely benefit TNA and the company.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a great move indeed. We're going to talk potentially about another European tour in a sec, but there was a new arrival over at TNA recently, a man that used to go under the name Dolph Ziggler. We know him as Nic now, Nic Nemeth. What's your thoughts on Nic? Because look, I can see yourself and Nic have many matches down the road. But listen, Rich, that would be a dream match for a lot of people.
It's definitely a match that I would definitely like to explore. I feel like if I got to the ring with Nic Nemeth, that we would definitely make some magic. We seen what happened when I got in there with Kenny Omega, and it was 20 minutes of hard hitting action. You know what I'm saying? And people still tell me to this day that that's one of their favorite matches. Give me an opportunity to get in there with a Nic Nemeth, and I guarantee I'll show him why he was in WWE for about 20 years and he didn't want to step outside the bubble. Now you're outside the bubble, son. You're working in New Japan. You're working in total nonstop action. There's no protection. There's nobody to save you. But I'll tell you now, dude's been killing it. He's been doing his damn thing. And to have stars like that in TNA, it definitely does nothing but help. But, when I pin them 1, 2, 3, or I make them say, "Uncle, I quit. I can't take it anymore," it definitely helps me, myself, and and AJ as well.
It does, Rich. And listen, Rich, we have to mention, look, listen, the rumor mill is a beautiful thing, and normally it could be accurate enough, but there's a lot of wrestlers out there at the moment that are world class like yourself that want to come to TNA. A lot of them are looking to obviously end contracts. They're waiting for the contracts to expire to go to TNA and hope to get that chance. Why do you think so many wrestlers today want to wrestle at TNA? It's quite obvious to me, but why do you think that?
Man, look at it. It's a place where you don't hear much drama. You don't see on the dirt sheets, "Oh, this person was biting this person was fighting that person, this person doesn't want to do this person doesn't want to do that." You don't hear that every single goddamn week. You look at the product and you see that it's a well put together product, not just from the aspect of the professional wrestlers going out there busting their ass, but I'm talking about from a television stance, from music stance, from the way that the show is produced. Everything has been stepped up. And when you get that sense of freedom when you've been locked down, like I was saying about Nic Nemeth, when you've been locked down somewhere for 20 years, you want to go to a place to where there's going to be no headaches, to where there's going to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that TNA is easy and it's a float by company, but I'm definitely saying that things definitely go through very smooth and everybody's willing to work together.
I love it. We were lucky enough, Rich, to get a European tour last year. There's talks we might get a bigger one this year or maybe the year after. But what's your thoughts on coming to Europe, coming to the UK, Ireland, Scotland, and all these great places here in Europe?
And I love the UK. It's definitely one of the wildest places to get down. Yeah, and I mean, like everybody out there, y'all love to party, and my gosh, if there wasn't, UK shows, there wouldn't be half the chance that we see all around professional wrestling today. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are some of the greatest and most passionate fans out there. And I feel like, we would love to, finally get a chance to, be out there and be out there multiple times throughout the year, especially since you guys only get to experience TNA through, the TNA Plus app or the premier YouTube account or DAZN or anything like that. I want to go out to the UK as much as possible and perform as much as possible. So, dude, if they have it, let's bring it. I don't mean to sound like your big boy Dwayne, but just bring it. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. Rich, I have to ask you something, right? This is something that I love to see. I think this could potentially happen. Rich Swann and TNA at Madison Square Garden. I generally believe that TNA has all the potential in the world to sell out Madison Square Garden. Um, is that something you think that could happen soon, or in a couple of years? Because I think it should happen. I think you all deserve it, and it would be an iconic place to wrestle.
So if you look back at the beginning of January, right?
Mm.
And you think about opportunities of Jordan Grace walking out at the Royal Rumble at a stadium that I've wrestled at. You know what I'm saying? Where was that? Was that at the Dome? Was that at the Alamo Dome
Yeah.
in, San Antonio? Oh, yeah. I got my ass whooped by Pac there. Lost my Cruiserweight Championship. Oh, I know that building very well. So that holds at least 70,000 people. When Jordan was in that ring and she came down that aisle wearing the TNA Women's Championship, just like Mickey did, you know what I'm saying? But Mickey's a little different. When you think Mickey James, you think of herself and Trish Stratus at WrestleMania. They're tearing the house down, all this, you know what I'm saying? And then her legacy at TNA. But Jordan Grace, this was her very first opportunity to really, really be shown to that much people. That's what I thought. But when she stood in the middle of that ring, I don't know if all 60, 70,000 people were chanting it, but there was a huge chunk in that goddamn stadium. And it takes a lot of power for somebody to be screaming out their lungs for you to get that on camera. Just like I said, being in that building, that's a dome. So everything's bouncing off. So there were at least like 30, 40,000 people chanting TNA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely something that could be done. We could draw out any arena with any time and the right promotion and the right preparation and the right, you know what I'm saying, love from the people.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it, man. I think it's going to happen soon. And who knows, we might see Rich Swann in the Royal Rumble 2025 with the World Heavyweight Championship around that West. I think it's got to happen. I think Moose has got to watch his back. Mustafa has to watch his back. And
they all got to watch their back.
They all do, yeah, they do.
They all got to watch their back. Me and the boy AJ Francis, we not playing TNA. AJ Francis with the Swann only flying on the side. Cause
I love it. I love it. Listen, Rich, we hope you're back over the seas here soon. You know, we're dying for that, second European tour. It's been a while, but last year was epic. We hope you get back to the UK and Ireland and beyond next year and this year. But listen, it's an honor as always. We can't wait to see what's next for you. The roster better watch out because Rich Swann and AJ have him on standby and alert.
Oh yeah, they definitely on standby. We got him.
I appreciate it, my man. You're a star. Thanks very much, Rich.
Hey, thank you, my brother.
Thank you.